Hey, Jeff Browning here with some coaching tips on race nutrition. So I like to kind of go through my race strategy and nutrition strategy during races and long runs, and this is kind of how I coach it as well. So usually I try like to think of first. Let's start with hydration. Hydration can include nutrition if you have like liquid nutrition and electrolytes in a bottle. So I like to have electrolytes and a little bit of calories in one bottle and water in the other bottle. I always think about my drinking, my hydration on a liter per hour drink rate. So I like to think, two 500 milliliter flasks that might be in a vest, or two handhelds that I might be carrying. One of these is going to have calories in it and electrolytes, and enough electrolytes for the entire liter, and the other's going to have water. That way I can sip like calories and electrolytes and then sip the water and equally drink them together so they're the same weight. But also it allows me to rinse my mouth out and rinse my palate so I don't get taste fatigue and get sick of that sweet taste of the calories. So what I like to put in my bottles, I like to use about half my calories per hour, 40 to 50% of my calories per hour coming from liquid. So one of the bottles is going to have about 30 grams of carbohydrate in it, and about 1,500 milligrams of sodium and some potassium. So the main electrolyte we care about is sodium and potassium, and about a 6-to-1, 3-to-1 ratio, somewhere in that range. So, but we like to think of it in a sodium per liter basis. I know my genetic dump rate is about 1,300 to 1,500 milligrams of sodium per liter. So I use a 1,500 serving of Precision. This is 2 packets are a serving. So 1 packet is half this number. This has 1,500 stamped on the front. 2 of them is 1,500 and about 30 grams of carbohydrate. That goes in 1 bottle, and that's enough for my per liter drink rate. So that covers my electrolytes. I do carry some electrolytes, about a little over 200 milligrams per capsule in a little waterproof, sweat-proof capsule container that has a pop top lid I can do with one hand. I carry those. Those are in case I do an extra drink rate. So I'm at an aid station, I chug some extra water. I take 1 capsule for me, about 1 capsule for about every 300 milliliters I drink. So if I chug down a Coke or a ginger ale or water at an aid station, I'll take a capsule to make sure I mineralize that water and not dilute my electrolyte levels from my drink rate that I'm carrying. And then on top of that, I'm thinking about my calories and then my, first of all, drink rate per hour. So I think about my drink rate in a per hour basis. So if it's warmer conditions, 60 plus degrees, 50 plus degrees, I'm going to be at about a liter plus an hour, a liter to a liter, 1.3 liters per hour. And if it's cooler than that, I'm going to be under a liter an hour as far as my drink rate. So that range is going to vary depending on temperatures and sweat rate. And then calories, I think about on an hourly basis. So after, the first hour, I don't worry about it. Maybe sip a little bit of calories, light calories that are in my bottle, and some electrolytes. But then starting at 1 hour, I start taking, I like to start with chews. So at 1 hour, I take 1 block. So there's 2 blocks in this package. Each one's 15 grams, 30 grams for the whole package. I take a block at 1 hour, a block at 1 hour and 30. And then starting at 2 hours, I start with a gel, about 25 grams of carbs. I have different flavors. I like several different brands. I'll mix in, and those I'll take starting at 2 hours. So top of the hour, I'm gonna take a gel. At the bottom of the hour, I'm gonna take 1 block. So I'm gonna take about 25 to 30 grams at the top of the hour and about 15 grams at the bottom of the hour. That's about 40 to 45 grams of carbohydrate plus the 30 in my bottle. If my per liter drink rate, or my drink rate is a liter an hour, then I'm going to be getting about 30 grams per hour from my drink. So only time that becomes an issue is if it's really cold and my drink rate isn't very high. When temperatures are lower, I really will work with just upping my calories with extra blocks to offset that less liquid calories I'm drinking. So that covers gels. I carry them in different packages. There's like big packages like this that has 90 grams and a screw lid, so I can just take sips on it if I want, or I can take a whole gel. Those are, like I said, are at the top of the hour, and then the bottom of the hour, I'm taking usually a chew, but sometimes I like to use solid foods too. So, you know, salted plantain chips, banana chips, sea salt and avocado oil potato chips I like as well. Sometimes, like with crew, I might have bone broth. You know, every 3 to 5 hours when I see crew, I might have bone broth, or I might have instant mashed potatoes with a little butter and sea salt. Just quickly eat it and go, you know. And then also, now let's talk about supplementation. There's 2 products I use for supplementation during a long run or race. One would be Ketone. I use Ketone IQ personally. I'll take one of those about every 6 hours during an event. That'll help with mental clarity. That'll also help with, and I'll take one after a big workout, like long runs, to help with recovery. And then I also use Vespa, which is more of a supplement to help with fat burning. So I use that every 2 hours during long runs and races, 1 30 minutes before, and then 1 every 2 hours as a supplement to my carb calories. So that kind of covers my race nutrition, long run nutrition. Go use that in your training. Giddy up.